Alright, today we're going to learn how to extract the sky and brighten it up, i.e. something like the sky right here. Alright, so first we're going to take one of our other pictures that obviously has a blown out sky that we want to make a bit darker. See, the foreground has nice color, but all this is really blown out. So what we're going to do is open it, Photoshop. Alright, now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to look in this section right here, the background, hit Control or Command J to copy it. So we have that secondary one. Now we want to make sure this is selected. So you can select between both of them, but we always want to make sure the top layer is selected. We can actually turn this guy off, which actually makes it so you can't see the background layer. And we're going to go up here, and then we're going to get our quick selection tool, and then we're going to make sure the add to selection is selected. Make this guy a little bigger, and then we're going to just start selecting this background. Just make sure the cursor is as big as the area you want to select. Alright, and then just make sure we get more of this guy up here. See, we still have this little selection here that we need to get, so I'm going to just shrink down my cursor. See if we can get this. And it looks pretty good. Sure we got everything we needed to, so we have all the sky selected in the foreground. We're going to go up to the Refine Edge tool, and that's going to just give us all the sky that we had just selected. Now we see we still have some of the background here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Smart Radius, make the cursor size a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to go over the edge that I want to get rid of. And it'll pull all that out. And then what we can do here is you can either smooth the edge more, you can feather it, so it feathers to the background. And once you're happy with that, you can just hit OK. Alright, so everything, as you can see, oh, wait, one more thing. Let me just show you. Go back to Refine Edge. Make sure that your output is selected to selection, so that it keeps the selection whenever you hit OK. Alright, now we're choosing from this layer right here, the layer that we've made the copy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extract the sky out of the whole photo. So we're going to hit Command J again, and as you can see we have our second layer that is just going to be the sky layer. If we actually click off of our initial layer, we can see that that's what we extracted. Now, first thing we can do with this is first we want to bring in some detail. So we're going to make sure that that layer of just the sky is selected, and then you can hit Image, Adjustment, and then you can start basically wherever you want. You can either do brightness or contrast, hue, saturation, all that stuff. What I like to do is I like to work either with levels or curves. Now let's just try levels real quick, and let me show you this. Alright, so if we move this out of our way, our layer 2 is selected, and then if we adjust these, you can see it does some different things. So this will white it out more, so it's completely white. But if we bring up our mids, you can see it starts getting darker in the background there. And we can bring up our lowers, and then we're getting a really dark sky now. So maybe about that's good. Let's hit OK. Now if you look, the layer that's doing this, if we turn off that layer, it brings it back to our original. and then if we take away our background, it's just showing what we're adjusting. Now, let's say that we want to kind of change the color. Still making sure that that layer 2 is selected. You can go into image adjustment, and then you can go to hue and saturation, and then hit colorize. And this will help us just choose color. So right now, as you can see, it's a red. With this slider on the hue with colorize chosen, you can actually go through and choose a bunch of different color options. So if we're looking for more of a blue, we can go blue. If we want green, we can go green or whatever. You can also just do normal hue and saturation. See, like right there is purple and stuff, but we'll just keep it the way it is right now, because whenever we darkened it, you can see it has a nice blue to it. So what we can do to kind of bring that out a bit more, go to image, adjustments, and then let's do vibrance. Now vibrance will just really bring those blues out. As you can see right there, in the saturation, we'll do the whole color. Vibrance basically does the top ends. So you can see we can go like extremely cartoonish blue, or let me just bring it down a little bit and keep it like that. So as you can see, we got quite a bit of detail there. One of the other things I like to do is I like to really make it look like a very dramatic effect. So what we can do is we'll take this layer that's just the sky, make sure that's selected, hit Command J again just to make a second layer of that, or a copy of that second layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically do a normal high pass on it. So with the second layer selected, you're going to hit Shift Command U or Shift Control U on PC, and then that's going to make this layer black and white. Now what we're going to do is we're going to blend it with this layer right here so that it gives it more detail. So up in your blending options, you're going to go down to soft light, and that looks pretty good. It's a bit darker. What we're going to do is we're going to do a high pass with this second copy layer. That's going to really bring out the details in here. So with that black and white layer selected, this guy right here, you're going to go to Filter, Other, and then High Pass, and you'll see automatically the changes. And let me just kind of show you what the high pass looks like. So let's look right here. So if we increase our pixels, we get more of a detail, and you can see it changing right there. And then right with this one, we can use about 5.4, and I think that that should look pretty good. So we have a nice coloration difference. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do the same thing to the foreground so that it has the details kind of matching. You don't have to do it, but I'll show you how we can do it that way. So now that we have these two layers as our sky layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our original layer, and what this is going to do is it's just going to affect the photo we have here, because these are covering the sky portion. So on my layer 1, I'm going to hit Control or Command J so that it copies it, making sure that that layer is still selected. I'm going to do Shift Command or Shift Control U. That's going to make it black and white. As you can see, it's not touching the sky in the background here. And then with this foreground, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up to the blending options and then go down to soft light. As you can see, it's really dark in some areas here when I do that, but it gives it more detail. Now in order to kind of fix the darker areas with this layer selected and then the filter already on soft light, I'm going to go up and then I'm going to do another high pass and just select it down here. If you want to select it, let me show you. You want to select it down here all the time, because if you select this is the last filter used, and it'll just have the same settings. It won't give you the option. So go down to Other, High Pass, and as you can see, it added the high pass, so you get some really big details on the photo features. And then we can do the same thing. We can increase the high pass just to see how it'll look, or we can decrease it, and that's basically how the lines are going to look in the filter. So if I pull out on here, I can show you kind of how the different high passes look. So this is with just more of the lines and out and not as much of the shadowing, or you can increase it all the way, and then it'll give you some more details, but you may get a halo effect. I would watch out for that. So I'm just going to keep it right about 16.2 pixels. And then that's how you go. And what I can do is, let me just turn off the sky, this high pass. So basically it takes us from here to here and there.